Hello everyone, I'm really excited to be here. Hi. Hello. I'm curious to know who is in the audience. How many of you consider yourselves to be entrepreneurs? To be entrepreneurs. How many of you are early career professionals? Mid-career? Executives? Okay, so it's a real good mix. So I think I'm going to toss my structure just a little bit. I'm inspired by you. And I'm going to start with a story, actually. So I grew up in India, as you could tell from the fun fact that Joe shared, and from my accent. So I grew up in Mumbai, which is a big city. It's like the New York City of India. So it's very urban, pretty Western. But my family grew up in a small town in North India. So that's the values and that's the home I grew up in. And so Vivian works with me actually, but I don't know if you know these things about me, but you learned something new about me today. So in our family, when a girl child is born, it's not good news at all. And I remember my cousins having daughters, and on the day of, everybody's trying to console each other. And then when a woman gets pregnant, when she gets the elders' blessings, everybody says, instead of saying be healthy or be safe, everybody says, I hope you have a son. So that's the sort of environment I grew up in. And women in my family are not allowed to work. So not that they don't work, they're not allowed to work. So I worked my ass off to work really hard. I was this overachiever, just did all the right things, and then I came here on a college scholarship to the US, I mean. And I started 2 startups for my college dorm. Worked really hard, I just wanted to prove something, and then I got recruited by LinkedIn. And it's a great company, and so that's where my first job out of college was. And then you were talking about microaggressions. So one of the best work cultures there could be, but even there, every single day, I would feel a little small, and a little smaller, and a little smaller, because somebody would talk over me in a meeting, or I would say an idea, and then somebody else would repeat the exact same idea, and then it would be noticed, and just so on and so on. But generally, I was seeing how the dots connect, and how I was one of those statistics that I would read about, how women make 79 cents to $1 now. Yeah. And how when women apply to jobs when they meet 8 of 10 requirements, and men apply to jobs when they meet 3 of 10 requirements, I could see myself, and I was like, oh shit, you're such an imposter. And this is not in their presentation, but I think because but that happened, and I was in my first job out of college, no clue what I'm doing. But I was supposed to be happy because I was at LinkedIn and my peers would have killed to get the job I was in. And then very serendipitously, this woman in a different LinkedIn office connected with me. And it was a totally pointless phone call. We just wanted to get to know each other. There was no business agenda or whatever. But she took a liking to me. She saw something in me, maybe a younger self of her. Because she came here in her 20s from Asia and didn't really know anyone in the country. But she took me under her wing, and she was a senior executive at LinkedIn. And she became my mentor. And I'd heard this word before, but I didn't know that I should be looking for one. And what does that mean? And how do I use their time? And where do I even begin? But with her coaching, I went from a disengaged, lonely employee to being the top performing sales rep in all of North America with this accent. And then I studied physics in college, so I did not think I would be doing sales. So I was looking for an analytical, data-driven role. And with her mentorship, she helped me transition to a better suited role, which brought me to the Bay Area. But she changed my life. And if not for her, I think I would have given up a couple months out of college. I would have gone back to India, I'd be married off to somebody, and I would have been sitting at home with 2 kids right now. But now I'm here, running a startup company with investors like TechCrunch's former CEO and LinkedIn's head of engineering. And so I owe everything to her, and the startup we're running is now a temple to her. But I'm telling you the story because I've made this my life's mission to create more meaningful mentoring relationships at scale for people who usually do not get the same access to opportunity, and they do not grow up with the same support system to have that confidence level when they start in the workforce, right? It's not a level field, right? Even if you look at the same titles, the same job description, there are just so many unconscious biases. Everybody comes with a baggage. You have no idea what story they grew up with, right? You're a white man. When I walked into this room, I was looking at, yeah, you. And I think I didn't realize it until you started telling your story, but maybe subconsciously I thought, wait, why is he talking about Allyship? And then I heard your story, and you were talking about how what your brother did just blew your mind. And I think I also have my own biases towards people who are not traditionally minorities. But then I hear their stories, and whoosh, it just opens my horizon. And I think it's really important to have more conversations within the workplace for people from different backgrounds. But it's taken more seriously if it's goal-driven. So when we're focused on mentorship, we realize that white men take under their wing people who look like them. But so do the others. That Asian woman mentored me, an Asian woman, right? And so what we're trying to do is create a system in the workforce. So we work with companies like Lyft, Splunk, etc. We've got a mobile app. Its name is Ellen, like Ellen DeGeneres. And you give it to your employees, it chats with them, it understands their goals and blind spots and who they are. Are they a woman of color? Are they a veteran, LGBTQ, first-time parent, etc., etc.? And then it matches them to an internal mentor automatically, but it works at scale. And we've seen that in literally just 6 months of working with an internal mentor and with just a little bit of framework, employees felt twice as confident to achieve their goals. And 25% more employees now strongly recommend working for their company. So if before 100 people enjoyed working for the company and recommended it, now there are 125, which is huge for HR. So it's not just the right thing to do, it's also the smart thing to do, right? Oh, thank you. Actually, I think in the interest of time, I'm going to wrap up here because I replaced my framework with my story. But I was really inspired by you, and I wanted to feel that I could share my story too. So that's where I'll end. But if you have questions on how to find mentors, or if you're just any question about career discovery, especially if you're early in your career, come chat with me. Really happy to get coffee. And our office is literally 1 floor up. So you're welcome to visit anytime. Thanks.